Hey ladies and gentlemen, what are we doing tonight? How is your lovely Friday night? It is a beautiful Friday night. Knights are playing. Fuck, the Knights are winning. Shit, we might. Probably not have a chance this year, but anyway, we won't worry about that. So we'll see how they go. But I hope you've all been doing good. Hope you've had a good week. Hope it's been exciting. It's been nice the last couple of days, but tonight it is freezing. So finishing up the last of my rum and watching some football and going to eat some pork belly, which is why I'm on this video for you, because I'm going to show you how I do my pork belly tonight, if any of you would like to see that. I know a lot of people probably get scared of doing pork belly, and I don't blame some people. It can kind of be intimidating, and you all want that crunchy skin and all that kind of stuff and blah 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 blah. But I'll just show you a few little tips of the way I do it, and hopefully that will make it easier on you. And this is a bit of pork belly from Coles, $8 bit of cum pork belly. So you don't need anything special. We don't need to have like some extravagant restaurant shit or anything special. Just a nice little boring bit of pork belly. But the tips, one of the first tips about it is you want the skin dry, like really dry. So I'm going to start off by drying the skin, which is as much as you can. Just paper towels. These are just KFC paper towels actually. So paper towel, hand towels, a Chuck's cloth if you've got a Chuck's cloth, or you can even kind of get a knife and scrape back along this skin like that. Wipe the knife dry, keep scraping and do that over stages, and that will actually dry the skin. But there's nothing wrong with doing it this way. It's just like wiping a baby's bum. So nothing to it. And that's about it. And you'll kind of tell with your paper towel anyway, because you can see now my paper towel's pretty much dry and not bringing any moisture into it, and it's not becoming dirty. So that's another way you can kind of tell. But so that's my first stage of it. And then I'm going to make sure I flip it over, but on a dry bit of the bench, because you don't want to be flipping over on something that's wet and just going to wreck it all and shit again. So that's going to be my second little bit. Flip it over, and I'm going to get a nice little sharp knife, which this one will do. And I'm just going to stab it a bit. This is just because I'm just going to put some herbs and spices and all that kind of stuff over this side. So this is just going to help massage it in, so it just goes through the skin a little bit. So I'm just going to give this a couple of little quick stabs over this side. So nothing too hard again. And this is only going to be for this. I'm just going to put some salt and pepper, and then I've got like a little mix here, which I've got like some what do I have in there? Onion powder, garlic powder, and I think there's a little bit of celery powder in there as well, which I'm just going to put that in there. But you can put whatever spice you want on the bottom. That's all up to you. Chinese 5 spice would have been pretty good. That would have been a nice one. I've even got a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. Actually, I'm just thinking I might crack that open and actually whack a little bit of that on there. But this is just going to be a little bit of the dry rub for the bottom, so nothing too major anyway. It's just a little bit of flavour for it. But give it a nice little massage in. You want to massage it in, just like you get all soft and scrumptious when you massage it in. You can see where I've moved my pork. I've moved it back onto the wet side of the chopping board. So that's a fucking dumb move by me. So tip number 1. Don't learn shit off Luke, because I'm fucking useless. So, anyway, that's about it for that. But yeah, I'm just gonna, you can see, just massage in a bit. Because yeah, obviously massaging in does work it into the meat a bit more. And it's gonna give it a little bit more flavour, and it's gonna work it into all those holes that you've massaged into the skin. So, that's one reason to be doing it. I'll flip my pork back over again. And now I'm going to have to pat it dry a couple more times, because this fucker over here decided that I'd put it back on the wet side of the chopping board, didn't I? So, stupid me. So yeah, I'll just give this a quick little wipe down. I'll start the video, not again, but I'll keep pausing on, because I only get little 10-minute sections in these videos on my phone now, because I'm filming them in 4K, so that lets me do in 10-minute bits. So yeah, I'll just start this little video bit again, and I'll get onto the next section of this pork, and I'll show you what I do, and I'll just clean all this section down. So, back in a minute. We're back. I'm empty. What's going on? Fucking hell. Now that's what you call being unorganised. Not having a full drink. Sorry about that, guys. 10 seconds. I need to have a drink for this little thing. See my cool little ice cubes, by the way? They're like I think $1 for a packet of like 4 little mold things at Kmart, and they're like, put one of them in and that does like 3 drinks or something. You don't need to keep putting ice cubes in. This is another little trick. See, I've been drinking with lemonade, Coke, but now lemonade, I don't ever get a hangover if I drink with lemonade. I can drink a bottle of rum and go to bed at 6, go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and still feel great with lemonade. If I drink a Coca-Cola, no way, it destroys my guts for some reason, so give that a go, that might work. Okay, anyway, I'll shut up. Back to pork. Because we pretty much are on the stage now of the good bit. Yes, we are. Maybe, no, it'll be fine. Just give it another pat. Since that last video I've put up, I haven't actually got it out the oven, so it's just been sitting in for probably another 20-25 minutes, just cooking by its merry self. You can see the onions are starting to get a bit soft, so the pork's dropping a bit, but it hasn't actually hit the bottom of the pan yet, which, oh, that's perfect. So it's a bed under there. But if you can see that now, there's no whiteness now, it's all dry. The pork's all dry right across it. You can see a little bit of moisture that's coming out, so I'm just going to pat that off as much as you can with a paper towel. I said nothing too special about it. The oven now I'm going to crank. This is going to go up to, pardon me, 240, 250 degrees, as hot as your oven can go. Because this is going to happen reasonably quick. It's going to take about 20 to 40, well, about 30 to 40 minutes. But this is where this is going to actually start getting your crackle on it. And this is because of the vinegar. The vinegar just, I'm not exactly sure. I'm no scientist or anything like that. I'm only going to brush a little bit over, but I'm pretty sure that like the vinegar just brings out the heat a lot more and just helps crackle it, and like brings the heat to the surface a lot easier, which just makes this snap crackle pop. And because this oven is going to be fanging I mean really hot, it's going to snap crackle pop it heaps quick as well. I'll get that up the temperature a little bit now. I don't want to put it in there while it's under, so I'm just going to hammer that up to 250 degrees. I'm going to put this in there, but probably maybe like every 10 minutes or something. If that, 8 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm going to open the oven and you're going to see like your brown smoke pop out, and that's what you want to do. You want to open that oven every now and then, just let that brown smoke coming out, because the smoke that's in the oven, as weird as it sounds, that brown smoke is burning the top of your pork. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm no scientist again, just a rum drinker. But yeah, you just want to release that kind of burnt smoke, and then hopefully at the end of this video you're going to see a nice golden crispy pork belly with none of the black top. The black top, I've seen other pork bellies and all that kind of stuff, is just from them not opening the oven, so all the smoke's just getting trapped in there and it's just burning and it gets a little bit of a bitter taste because it's burnt. So yeah, I'm just going to whack this in the oven at 250 degrees, which it's almost up now. Another thing I forgot to tell you, now that we've done the first stage, down the bottom, get your rack up the top. We don't need this to be sitting down the bottom now. We actually want this at the top, because where the heat rises, we want the crackle to be smash bang on top. And so yeah, as you can see, going in, 250 degrees, it's on top of my onions, so I know it's not going to be burning or anything like that. You can have it on a roasting track if you want. If you not feel confident, or you think it's going to dry out, because it's sitting on the onions, you can put a little bit of water in the bottom if you want, for a little bit of extra moisture. But I just know all the fat in that pork is going to render it down, and that's where the moisture is going to come from all that fat that's inside the pork. So that's where all my juice and stuff's going to come from. Yeah guys, that's in the oven now, like I said, at 250 degrees. I'm going to crank that. I won't pull it out and show you every stage, but I'll probably get it half done, and I'll show you how it looks half done with the crackling going. And then I'll come near the end and show you when I cut it up and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, in this section, you just want to, every 8 minutes or something like that, open the oven up, let that burnt smoke out, the brown smoke that you see, and then yeah, just keep it cranking over. So thanks, and see you soon. Seconds, not a minute. Rum's good, just saying. Rum's a beautiful drink, spiced rum. Don't drink Bundaberg rum anymore. That's a little tip. I don't know, I just lost the love to that. So yeah, back to this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to make sure this is dry. Like I said, this is probably the biggest secret if you want crispy skin. I reckon this and the couple of the next little steps that I'm going to do now is what's going to help it get crispy. But you want it dry, guys, like as dry as you can actually get it. So bang, bang, bang. That's like dry. And now I'm going to go stabbing again. So this is a good little spot for people that you hate and all that kind of stuff. So this is, you're just going to score it. So this is when I end up, I better watch my hand too, because I've had a few drinks, so I don't want to be stabbing my finger. But I'm going to put salt, and I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar, just white vinegar over the top of this, and that's what's going to help pop up the skin, well, after the few stages that I do anyway. Because then I'm going to whack it in the oven first. The oven's only pretty low, it's only at about 140 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to sit that in there for about 40-50 minutes, which I'll show you, and I'll take you through all the stages of that, of how I'm pulling it out. But that's going to help dry the skin a little bit more in the oven as well. So yeah, it's going to be about 40-50 minutes on 140 degrees, and then at near the end of it, I'm going to crank the oven up to like 200, well, pretty much as high as the oven can go, which is going to be K250. So I'll probably put it at about 240 degrees, and then I'm going to be smashing that for about another 40-50 minutes there. But that's where it's going to get, your skin's going to start becoming really crispy. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to be opening my oven door every 5 or 10 minutes to let all the smoke out, because all that brown smoke and shit smoke that comes out of the oven, obviously that's going to be burning your pork. So I'll let that out every few minutes, just clear out the oven, let the smoke all clear out and get nice, and the heat get back down to even and not as fucking hot. And then I'll start doing that, and I'll show you all that. But so you can see I'm scoring. It's easy if you got like, you can see a little hole, you probably can't see little holes in it. You can see little holes like that in it, and that's just kind of going to be all around. There's a couple of tools you can get, they're like circle cylinder things with prongs in them, and you can just bash the shit out of it that way, which that helps it a lot better like that. But yeah, that's that stage of the video, guys. Like so. So I've marinated it, or just dry rub the bottom of it. You can marinate it if you want. You can have it sitting in the fridge if you want to do that. Just don't get the pork, don't cover the skin. Just have it sitting in a brine or something in a bowl and have it marinating for the first few days. That's totally, pardon me, totally your call. Now the next stage I'm going to do is, I'm just going to sprinkle some oil. Oh, look at that, the nice little holes in there. Some salt over there. This is going to be fine salt at the start. I'm going to do some coarser salt a bit later on. Maybe. I'll see how she goes in the oven, but I'm just going to rub this all over. As you can see, you want this all rubbed in. And you want this in the holes, so that's the big tip for that as well. So this is going to be just, and it doesn't really matter, like you can put, not heaps, like I said, you don't want to put heaps, you just want a couple of good pinches, but you're not going to be eating all this salt anyway, and if there's any excess salt on there that you don't want at the end, just brush it off. Like, this is just to get the skin bubbling up. That's one of the tips that they do for that. And now I'm going to just brush a little bit of white vinegar over it, which is another little, well, I don't know if it's really a little tip, but it's just a little way you can help crackle it up as well. And this is just Coles white vinegar. There's nothing special about this, but this is going to help bubble up the skin. Tell you the truth, just another little tip. I'm just thinking it's probably stupid to do it that way. Look, no, nothing. I was going to say vinegar it, then put the salt on it. You can any kind of way, but feels like to me that I'm rubbing the salt off when I'm vinegar in a second. So I'm going to do a bit more, but I don't want to really rub the vinegar off as well. So vinegar and salt. Actually, you put your vinegar down first, and then rub the salt, and you can massage that through the holes. Beautiful, and that's not going to be beauty too bad. And I'm just going to give this a quick pat down. Like, I don't want this fully dry because I still want the vinegar on it, but just a quick little pat down. And this is what's going to go in the oven now. I'm going to whack this straight in the oven, and this is what the oven's at 140 degrees. And I'm going to put this, oh shit, Jesus, I better set up my pan. How about that, guys? The way I do my pan, you can put it in a, just get up in a second. You can put it on a big baking tray with a rack, so it's not sitting, my onions don't want to come out the bag. Where's the hole in the onion bag? Oh, I'll show you. You've got big baking trays that I've got down there where I can sit the pork in there, and it's going to keep it off the bottom, which you can do that if you want, but my little tip is, I just whack an onion in there. I'm just going to whack a couple of onions in the bottom, and I'm going to sit the onions on top of that, but that's just so it's not hitting straight on the bottom of the pan, and it's pretty much not, like the bottom of the pan's not burning it, so that's only why I've got that happening. Like, I'm not really going to be eating these onions. You can if you want, but that's why you can see I'm not even going to really peel them. They're just kind of like a little stand to keep my pork off the bottom, and that's just another little way to do that. And it is going to put flavour in your stuff, flavour for your meat as well. But instead of having to go out and worry about getting all friggin' fancy shit and all these deer pans and deer hit holders and all that, there's little tips like this you can just do that just sit up there. But yeah, this is going to stop it from hitting the bottom of the pan anyway, well as good as it can. But I think it might need a bigger pot, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to just shove that in my bigger pan just to make sure I've got enough room. With my luck, I won't. Beauty. And these are just Kmart pans. I don't go out and spend hundreds of dollars on pans. My fry pans, my non-stick fry pans are the $5 ones from Kmart. I think they're only $4.50 now, and they're non-stick and they're awesome. And because they're awesome for $4.50 and they're non-stick, if they break, go buy another one. They're only $4.50. Go to a restaurant or go buy restaurant quality pans that are going to cost you $300-400, and the ones that cost $4.50 do the exact same thing. I've had mine here. I've been living here for about 3-4 years now, and it's done me perfect. I should probably put another onion under the middle of this, but I can't really be bothered. I'm going to try and get away with it with 4, but I don't think it's going to really want to let me. But we'll see. I don't want to cut up another onion just for me. But I'll dodge it over there like that. As I said, you can see once it does go halfway through the cooking, I can take it off the onions and zap it at the end. But at the moment while I'm doing it slow, I'm just going to get it off the bottom so it's not going to burn on the bottom of the pork. And yes, that's about it. So I'm sitting that in the oven now, 140 degrees. That's going to be about 40-50 minutes. I'm going to keep checking it. I'll show you the stages how I do check it and how I want you to get the skin to look before you crank up the oven and actually go for the real crackling stage. This is, like I said, just to draw the moisture out a little bit more. Obviously cook the pork off a little bit as well before you get on Cranktown. But yeah, I'll show you that bit, and I'll come back in little bits of the video and I'll show you I'm pulling it out of here and how I want it to look. So thanks guys, and be back again. Just bringing it back to a little bit of the oven. It's probably been in for about 15 minutes now, and it's starting to dry. You can see another tip I forgot you to tell at the start: when you first put this in for the first dry out stage at the 140-150 degree temperature, put it at the lowest bit of the oven that you can, the lowest tray of the oven as you can. Sorry, like that's where you want to start it. But you can see, I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but you can see around the edges. It's really dry now, so it's all dry, but you can see the edges are starting to get this brown mark right around them and dry out. That's going to start working its way all the way in. This isn't going to crackle up yet. This is just going to be the skin when it's really, really dry. But I'm going to get that to start working it all the way in towards the middle, which shouldn't take heaps longer now, maybe another half an hour or so. And when that gets all the way into the middle, that's when I'm going to start cranking it up and doing all that kind of stuff. But I'll take you through the other bits of the pork belly, how it starts working its way into the middle, and I'll show you the different stages and all that kind of shit with it. So yeah, you can go from there, and just thought I'd just show you that little bit, how you can see it's just fully dry now. There's no moisture on top of that skin at all, it's just fully dry. And this is when it'll start doing its magic a little bit now. You can start to smell the pork in the house, it smells beautiful. And yeah, so I'll keep it cranking up. I'm gonna have a little bit of guitar play and I'll be back. Thanks. Sorry, yeah. This has been about another 20 minutes, so all up so far this has been about 40 minutes. So I'll lie again, I'm shit with times. So it's been about 40 minutes, and by looking at this might be about another half an hour of the first cooking stage, which I'll show you. See, I'll pull it out once and you can, oh there you go, you can see there's a little bit more moisture on it again. I'll try and pull up with the camera. So I'm just going to dot it dry. But you can see if I pull it up, sorry about the onions, they're just holding it off the bottom of the pan so it doesn't burn. They're my little stands. I'm not sure if you can see it, but on the camera you can see it's all starting to come even more around the edge now, so that's just drying right out even more again. So like I said, you want this to get all the way into the middle of the pork, all that kind of dry stuff there, you want right across the skin. And then that is when I'm going to put a tiny little bit of vinegar over it again, and I'm going to crank the oven up to 230 degrees or something like that and smash it for about 20 minutes to half an hour, and that's when the crispy bit will come apart. But I'll show you that when I get to it. I just wanted to show you those little parts of the video, pulling it out bit by bit, so you just keep pulling it out like say every 20 minutes maybe, and then just dab that little bit of moisture out of it, and then whack it back in. Yeah, we'll go from there. So see you next bit. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so this has been, since this final crackle's been like about another hour, I reckon, on the 240 degrees, 250 degrees, and it's cranked up a bit. I've pulled off some of the onions, as you can see how they're starting to crisp up. I didn't want all the burnt things around the outside to take the flavour in, but the stuff under the bottom of the pork will be fine, because it's just will be, because I said so. So you don't have to worry about that. So we've got that. I'm going to pick off the little excess bits that are from the onions there. But now, as you can see, oh actually, I should be resting it first. But you can see from the crackling, for colour, to tell you the truth, see, I would want that a little bit brighter than that. It's, for me, that's dark. It's still alright, like I'm not going to complain with it, but you can see the cracklings there. I don't really want to cut it at the moment because it should be resting. Well, it's going to rest. I'm not going to wreck it at the moment, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to rest it, and then obviously don't stress, so you can see all the edges here. That's the edge bit. So these little bits here, when you get to it, or all the end bits, when you cut them off, eat them or save them for yourself. They're the best bits. But you want a serrated knife, and when you're doing the chopping, I'm going to hold mine up down here, and that's how I'm going to slice it. I'm going to slice it from the top. That's hot. And at the moment, I don't really want to cut it, because as soon as I cut that, all that juice is going to go out of that, and I don't want that to really go out of that. So I'm going to let that sit there. So the onions got a bit smashed under that, but they were alright. They were my base. They worked out. They stopped. Pardon me, I'm still eating. They stopped from that being the bottom of the pan, which would have burnt the bottom of my pork. But so like I said, you can put it on a rack, which a lot of you guys probably will have, but that's just another version that'll show you where you can use it without a rack. So if you don't have a rack at home, you don't have to stress or anything about it. You can just, like I said, cut a few onions up and awesome. I just realised I've got a couple of sheepers too. Yeah, so yeah, just cut your onion up and whack them under there. It doesn't even have to be, it can be anything. It can vegetables, blah blah blah, anything. But like I said, they're not to eat. They're just to keep it off the bottom of the pan. That's like a base. And if you're scared of the onions getting burnt, you can whack a little bit of water just in the bottom of the pan, just a little centimetre, and that will kind of steam up as well, and it will keep the pork moist. But this pork, as soon as I cut this, that's why I'm not cutting it now, because all the moisture will seep out of it and it will go dry. So it's all locked in there at the moment. It's going to end up relaxing. But yeah, I'm gonna end up cutting this. Well, I'm gonna let it rest for a good probably 20-30 minutes, because I'm not in a rush to eat either. I'm having a couple of drinks, and I'm just gonna let it pot around in the side background. And then yes, I'm gonna get out there and I'll slice it. I'll put a couple of pictures up in the comments of what it looks like when it's sliced and cut. But yeah, you don't really want to annoy you anymore by slicing it in front of you. But like I said, you can hear the crackling. It's smashing. I want it probably the colour there that I'm pointing at. If you can see it, that's probably the colour I want the whole bit of pork. So, and see, I could probably even put in for another couple of minutes. That's still crackling. But see, you can just see it's not that full crackling. That's a wet spot. So I didn't dab that dry enough. So that's all that is. But for pork belly, that's going to be beautiful. And like I said, I'll put a picture in the comments of stuff of how it looks when I cut it. But I'm just not touching it at the moment because I'll screw it up. And I'm going to go have another rum and try and play another song. And yes, there's my little pork belly video. Sorry it took so long. I lied to you. I think I said it'd take about an hour and a half earlier. All up, that probably took like 2 hours. 2 hours, 10 minutes, so don't worry about me. Don't ever ask me to meet you somewhere on time, because you know I'll be about 2 hours, 10 minutes late. So anyway, guys, there's my pork belly video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for liking. Share them. Get them out there. I know I talk heaps of shit. I'm probably going to talk more shit because I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with you guys. Starting to become a bit like family. So now you're going to have to put up with me for a bit longer. But yeah, heaps of stuff coming up. There's a couple of little things I want to do. There's a couple of little stupid things I want to do, just like potato rosties and all that kind of stuff. Like, even if you guys want me to just put up a video like how to dice carrot easier, how to dice onion easier, let me know about that as well. If you want me to put up ones like how to cook a steak, let me know, because I was going to do them, but I don't know if that's just, going a bit too far. But yeah, let us know if you want that stuff up. So anyway, cheers, peace, and have a good night. So, it's been resting now. Or it hasn't been now. It's been about half an hour. I'm not going to lie. But you want an older knife. That's perfect. Well, like I said, I still want it a bit lighter than that. So that's just something I'm going to learn earlier in my oven. But yes, like I said, it's perfect. It's got the crunch. Fork's nice and tender. Hopefully it doesn't fork up too much when I cut this. But I'm going to cut this for a tip. Trying to think of the best way, flattest way. Serrated knife or an old sharp knife. I'm just going to use a serrated knife at the moment because I think this should cut through it. Wow. Should a bit crunchy there. Get through there, you prick. That crackling is going to be nuts. So yeah, I'm going to have to shove this down on the plate. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it from now. I'll just give it a quick chop. Like I said, I don't know if you want to. Well, oh, rip like a good bit. It's probably a crunchy bit anyway. Then I'll steal that. Yeah, I don't know if you know if you just want to even check it out, but I'll just throw it on the plate just for you to have a bit of a look. Like I said, the outside, your end bits and stuff like that are going to be a little bit burnish because obviously they've been in the oven. But they're the burnt ends, mate. They're the best bit. You fucking, if you don't want them, send them down to my house. I'll give you my address if you need it. But yeah, like I said, guys. So got all the end bits, and this is only a little bit of pork. This is like a $6 bit of pork or something from Coles. So if you're gonna got a family, go get a nice big bit. Pork belly's not that dear. It can be a pain in the bum to do it, and especially when you live by yourself. You don't really want to do this for all yourself. But yeah, as you can see, I try and lay it over. I don't know. Let's try and do it so you can see it, and you can see the juice and the fat like coming. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. Anyway, it's there, and that's what it is. Like I said, there's a couple of little darker bits on the edge bits, which I'm going to learn from that, and I might just have it down a bit lower because my oven might be just a little bit hotter than the other ones I've cooked with. But I'll learn that all myself, and I'll figure that out next time. But yeah, I'm going to have this burn end bit. Oh yeah. Thank you for following this page and watching this video and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to get into this. I'm not going to keep talking his off. He's put up with me for probably about 20 minutes or 30 minutes tonight in this video when I edit it. So thank you for following this. Hope you like it. Try it with something else. I'm probably just going to have this with some mashed potato. I wish I had some apples because I'd cut up some apples and put some sugar and cinnamon and blah blah blah, make an apple fucking sauce. But anyway, that will do me. It's only for my drinks, so have a good night. I'll see you next video.